of Win.
Woo! Hey!
Frederica, Susan, I'm Tammy. This is also Tammy. This is Marantha. Thank you, Marantha, for the gracious use of your phone.
Oh, my pleasure.
Today we interviewed
Jenny,
Jenny.
Market 183
You will see that
at the end of this video.
at the end of this video. I'm trying to talk louder because, again, you can't hardly hear me. I don't know why.
Because you're so soft and nice.
I've got such a loud mouth. But anyway, today we're going to discuss market trends, and being that we all are in different businesses dealing with different products or whatnot, we look at things differently, I think. For me, everything is about art because I'm not a salesperson, so I just like making stuff, and if I can sell this stuff that just piles up, that's wonderful because it can't just pile up but so long and then it takes over. So I want to start with telling the difference between a fad and a trend. Fads have a tremendous fan following but last much less than a trend. Fads are experienced once, but they do not come back. On the other hand, trends, as they meet consumer needs and behaviors, become a part of the culture and lifestyle, and thus last a very long time. And I want to just start out by our interview with Jenny. She's into art, I think, more so, because the way she does her business around it just kind of flows with the art. And you know, a lot of artists that you think of these days, that I think of anyway, are famous now, but they died unknown and poor.
Yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
He was poor.
And his paintings didn't become expensive till after his death, you know. The Art of Dying, Van Gogh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I said Leonardo.
Yeah.
And I was talking about Vincent Van Gogh, which I don't know why I get those confused. I shouldn't.
I do too.
Because of that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Vincent
That's
Van
what
Gogh.
confuses you.
Yeah.
And there's some writers in here too, but Herman Melville, Edgar Allan Poe, which he's a tragic story too. Vermeer, Henry David Thoreau, Modigliani, Paul Gauguin, Emily Dickinson, Oscar Wilde, El Greco. These are just some of artists who died poor. And so when you think about it that way, as studying trends myself, I don't know a lot about identifying trends, because when I was telling you the subject that we were going to be talking about, I know that Fashion Week, they'll tell you the colors of next year are gonna be
Teal.
yeah, and by the time this one can get around to, okay, buy the beads, make the jewelry, the big companies have already, they're on the market.
Yeah.
I can't keep up.
And that's what Susan and I were talking about before the broadcast. I'll let Susan share, but I thought it was very interesting, Susan, how you were saying that you don't do trends.
No, you have to have staples that are your staple things that are going to sell no matter what times, and that keeps your business going when different trends are going on out there. And maybe what you have, and other items that you have aren't selling that well. But as an artist, for an artist to do trends, you're selling yourself short for one thing. Because you're not a true artist if you're just going by the trend. You're not truly creating from your heart and from your mind. You need to have that totally out of your mind when you're creating something. So as far as my business, you know, I have 17 different local artists and craftsmen that supply to me. So it's not about trends. You have certain things maybe as far as like holidays. Certain things will sell at Christmas time. They won't sell other times. Some things will sell at Halloween or Thanksgiving that will sell other times. But you have to have your basics that are your sellers, and are your things that are created from your heart, and you have to throw it out there to the public in a certain way that they feel the heart.
Yeah.
They feel your expression, your emotion,
Yeah.
and that's going to sell no matter what. That's going to sell no matter what.
That's pretty much my thought process as well. I was thinking about this question, and I've never been into trends. I was never into any of I like nice things, but I generally try to stick with the classics. And what's interesting is I do a lot of vintage. A lot of the items in my shop are vintage or antiques. So that is your classic, but not so much trends, but time changes. And even though I do some vintage and some antiques, right now people aren't buying those. Susan and I were also talking a little bit before the set about, again, your essentials. So for me, I always sell things like magazines or batteries, or you have a good winter coat and some hat and a scarf, because that's gonna sell. They're gonna always need that. So what are you ladies thinking?
Me, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Me, I have with the neck scents. I gotta somewhat keep up with the trend because it is perfume.
It is.
I almost have to if I pass by a magazine, I might have to look at the date of it, and I'm having to see what is the talk, because Christian Dior J'adore has been in and out. It's been in the trend, and then it's been out. Even though perfume scents keeps going around and around, I have to keep up with the trend. So I'm always having to keep my ear to the smell place at all times, and that is a lot. That can be a little bit of
classics though, because I'm classic, like I have my Lancome and my Estate.
Yes.
Certain ones that never go out of date.
Yeah, they stay with the trend.
Right, like some of the Chanel fragrances. So there's some of that you have in there that stay as a classic, right?
Well, not really. When it comes to the name Chanel and the name Christian Dior, the brand stay on the top trend market, okay? But it might be J'adore Luminaire that kicked out this season, that kicked J'adore down. It might be this last year around Christmas. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you guys, I know you're gonna be like, is she on her thing? But I think it was Joy that was by Chanel. Joy came up, and it used to be like Chanel Chance Tender and EU Vibe, and then Joy became like the number one. Marc Jacobs Daisy used to be a lot. The name Marc Jacobs is still at the top, but now it's Marc Jacobs Perfect. So that knocked down Daisy and all that.
I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's like the classics, like Elizabeth Taylor White Diamond. That's a classic. It's in lower level of trend. Do y'all understand? It takes a certain type of people to want that. When everybody else is up here with the other top-notch Elizabeth Taylors. So when it comes to scents, there's not a moment that I can't keep my ear to the ground, because if I take it away, I can have a guest to come in and they're asked, do you have such and such? And I'm like, oh, I never heard of it. And then that makes me look like I don't know my perfume shop.
Right.
So the trend world,
You're
I
in
love
it.
you
You're
guys,
in it.
but can you slow up a little bit?
In it.
Go back on the clothes.
Well, it's interesting because I have in the different businesses I've had, it's never been about trends at all.
Yeah.
Because I've been in like the plantscaping and landscaping aspect of medicinal or native plants, right? Or, but purposeful.
Yes.
And then like what I do in my shop here, it's health and wellness. Health and wellness is to me like the base of everything. If you don't have your health and you're not feeling good, in your body and in your mind and in your spirit,
Right.
then I feel like then you're going in a direction that you might need a little help in. And so I feel like a health and wellness shop, it was strong 20 years ago when I started this. It's strong through everything.
Yes.
Now, because people need medicine, and a lot of people now, okay, if you were talking about trends now, the trend is back in towards herbal.
Yes.
It's never gone completely out, but it's big time in now.
Yes.
Because you want to do the least harmful thing and I think allopathic doctors definitely have their place.
Yes.
But I think naturopathy, homeopathy, aromatherapy, and all the therapies are super strong too, and they do no harm to our bodies. So yeah, so trends maybe in the like herbal versus non-herbal, that kind of thing, but not so much in the bigger picture. In the bigger picture, it's just, it kind of trumps.
Yeah,
So
trends.
if you don't mind me saying, that's what I take as a classic trend. I can put that in the category. A classic trend to me is something that the name doesn't change. You know, they're not gonna call it, they're gonna call it herbal medicine. They're not gonna call it something crazy, whatever, and you can't get it nowhere else but what you do with nature.
Right.
You know, so that's a classic trend where it might be, I wouldn't say here today, gone tomorrow, because it's never gone, like you
Never
said.
gone.
It might be what people are talking about
More now.
to, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago.
Like the CBD.
And then it died a year ago. And now we need it, like the CBD.
Like I've been doing
Never
CBD
went
for a
nowhere.
while. Yep, and now all of a sudden everybody, you know.
It was never called nothing else. Now that's an everlasting classic trend. And I think if you can get into one of those, which obviously you have to take some type of education for it.
Which I have.
Yes, definitely she has. She has. That's very true. Because you definitely got to know what you're talking about when it
That's
comes
right.
to something like that. I don't. I just know sense. You know, so that right there is
Yeah.
everlasting. It's a classic trend. It's never going. If you can land one, you land a business
Right.
for life.
Right.
What I was gonna say and kind of add, and one thing I was thinking about when I started, I'm probably the youngest as far as business, the ones who've had their business. So I've only had mine less than 6 months, and I had to decide early on, kind of things we talked about earlier about having my essentials, but I also had to decide, particularly doing antiques and vintage, was I need to find something that I'm gonna do that's not gonna feel like I'm beating myself down every day
Right.
working hard is something I enjoy
Right.
doing. And so I really so I decided when I go and I'm finding my pieces, I find things that I like. And some advice some of the other vendors gave me, they said that way if you ever had to close down shop, not that
Yeah,
you want to,
I can see
at
that.
least it's something that
You love,
like,
yeah.
that you love doing, and it'll be easier for you to want to do it when it's something you actually like or enjoy.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you, and I'm sorry, Susan, you know, talk almighty Tammy here. I was going to ask you and Tammy, like, how do y'all pick your pieces? And I think you just answered that, you know, so you want me stuck, you know, worry about being stuck with it forever. You pick the pieces that you
Yeah.
actually will love, and
Yes.
And this one makes pieces.
I would.
Can I speak for you for 1 minute? Look, I wish we could focus on what she's wearing. She made it. Like pretty much, she's got
Oh, wow.
some antiques, but some of the jewelry,
That's pretty.
all of the jewelry, most of the jewelry she has in her shop is made by her. Half of it, a good bit of it,
No, most of the jewelry is.
and
Yeah,
it's
I
beautiful.
know.
People seem surprised, and I don't know why. It's a head
Because
scratcher.
I thought you just did the antique.
because you're a
stuff.
golden hidden talent.
Yes.
I don't.
her
I mean, there's
jewelry's
so
really
much
nice.
jewelry here. You know, there's so much jewelry here. That's why I don't.
But see, I think that's to my point is when it's you and it's authentic, even though there may be so many different other people, yours is standing out because of you.
Because
you
of
have
you.
you do something that only you can do, and
Right.
we can do. Both of us can have the same product.
You don't walk around bragging like, oh, I make my jewelry, like, and I was across from you, and then all of a sudden I walked in there and I saw something. I was just like, oh my God, it's so curvy. You said, oh yeah, I make it. I said, what?
Well, you don't
That's
want
what
You
I
did.
did.
This was, I was like, what?
We could brag for you because I
Yes.
had
Like,
the same
I was like, oh my
reaction.
God, like every piece of jewelry that I see is almost like
Art.
art,
is art.
which it is art, but it's like, it looks like the same earring you see. Then you go in yours, it's like,
Different.
this is
Every
something I
piece.
saw on like an English movie.
You don't
Or
want to be
something.
sloppy.
You know?
You don't want to be sloppy when you're doing something. I don't anyway. But you know, back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I was always told many, many years ago, when you are buying stuff, don't buy something just because you think it's gonna be worth a fortune.
That's what
Exactly.
Susan was just talking
Because
about.
if it's not, you're stuck with it, and you better like it.
But if you
know.
love it,
if you
then-
like it, yeah, there you go. You got, at least you got something you like. It
That's
may
why I
not
say
be
Nick
worth a
Sense is my
fortune.
fragrance closet and my personal care.
Yeah.
That's just my giant closet up here. When I run out at home, I come up here and I just,
Buy something.
Which leads me to bring up, bless his rich heart. I'm sure he's passed away by now, but I'm just going to please Google Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock.
He's one of my favorite
Of course
all-time
he is,
artists.
Marantha.
I saw his work in New York a couple years
Oh
ago.
my goodness!
Gosh.
Oh my goodness! I pulled up. I printed up mural on Indian red ground by Jackson Pollock. $250 million. Please pull it up.
I can't
He
afford
was
it.
poor.
Susan,
Your child can do this. Your grandchild can do that right there. It's like get a paintbrush and go with about 4 or 5 different colors, and there
Okay,
you go.
just, guys,
There you go.
just dismiss what
But
you're saying about Pollock.
beauty is in the eye of the beholder. He's rich. It's all rich. It's all good. You can talk about $250 million painting all you want to.
'Cause he's not-
I also think, like Susan, you said you deal with 16 or 17 like artists, and like what really helps their stuff sell in the trend market today. Sometimes I think it's probably because of who they are. They don't have to be dead. They might have just made a good impression in life.
Well, energy, and when you're dealing with art, especially Native American art, the energy that person put into making that.
That's
So
what
in
comes
my
through.
shop, I make some of the things, Ramona makes some of the things, then the artists that bring things in make some of the things. So you can individually walk through the shop and you can see the individual person in each item. That was another reason why I chose to deal with a bunch of different artists coming through. Because if I only made things, my shop is only going to be just my
Represent
energy
you.
alone and
Yeah.
just my eye alone. When I've got 17 different local artists, then it's 17 different eyes and hearts and energies that are in these different items. So out of my customers coming through, everybody that comes through there is going to find something that connects to them.
Connects with.
Right.
It's about energy. It's way
So sometimes a piece would just sell because of
the energy.
Nah,
is put
the
on.
energy.
Yeah, it's way past what you see with the eye.
Right.
Timmy's about to
What's
bust over
his
there.
name? You have an artist, and I bought 2 of his pieces. Probably the day he brought them in, I don't know. The first time I seen them, I wound up buying 2 of his pieces, and then the next time, a couple weeks later, I'm walking by your tables, and I saw something, and I'm like, same guy. There it is.
You can
Same
feel
guy.
it. You can feel the energy coming
I
out.
just knew it was the same guy's stuff, and he makes some of the best stuff. And I'm like, he don't sign his stuff. Tell him to sign his stuff.
And I think that's what probably make a childlike piece like that so expensive.
Crazy people.
Well,
No,
also the
because you
scale.
can feel something off of it.
Well, something like that too.
Pollock does scale. Big stuff. It's like this big or bigger.
Something like that too. Each person that looks at that sees something different.
Feel something different.
You get a different vibe. Each person that sees that sees something different with the eye. They feel something different with their heart, and they feel something different with their soul.
Exactly. That's one thing I love about art.
Yeah.
So the trends that we're talking about, all of those, the emotional aspect comes into play.
Yeah.
The energetic, how it feels, and you can add anything. Don't let me come up.
I wanna
They
say
said
something
chasing
to
down
that.
the magazines in the market to figure out what is going on today. I need pop-ups because I have to catch up those
You guys,
pop-ups.
if anybody wants to comment on Tammy, who is very savvy with sense, she actually would welcome. Say it.
Yeah,
She'd
definitely.
welcome any information you have. Because
Welcome,
she's-
please,
yeah.
please let me know.
Any trends we're
the
missing.
things that's going on. I mean, we have all walks of life out there now. I don't want to disrespect anyone, so that's why I'm just saying all walks of life. I mean, if you like must scents, if you like whatever, just let me know. What is the top trend of the scents today? As well as I like the energy that we're bouncing off from my herbal doctor, the scent doctor, to the jewelry I was gonna call you bone collector. The jewelry doctor to the wood maker.
Just
to
call
the
me
look, to the antique stylist.
Antique angel.
Antique angel. Like, so, my belt set energy over there.
I don't know.
So what do you have to watch out for?
Again, just being original, being yourself. That's all.
In
I
the
really
trend
look at,
market.
In the trend
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
Because like Susan said earlier, you know, and actually you and I got in a conversation off camera, but what Susan was saying is sometimes you will get on board of a trend, kind of like Tammy said, you'll get on the trend, and by the time the trend gets to your town or where you're at, it's already passing, and now you're stuck with all this stuff. So you just,
Yeah.
that's why I'm just
Right.
like,
You're right.
be original, be yourself.
Start your own trend.
Right.
Yeah,
Start your
oh,
own
that
trend.
is.
That is a good one.
Say it one more time. Like, we've been talking.
Start your own trend.
Start your own trend.
That's a good place to wrap
That's, I'm serious.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right, have a good
Good
one.
one.
Mom. We love
We'll see you next Wednesday.
All right.
Share.
Share. Thumbs up.
Spin.
Because remember, when you win,
We win.